Welcome, you guys. You're going to need two props today, a block right here and option to have a towel. Just put those two items to the side. We're going to start standing up and coming into a forward fold. So we did this the past couple weeks where we hinge at the hips, bending the knees, and just folding all the way down. And I want you to place your hands on the mat and then just move over to the right and over to the left. And just feeling each hamstring. Because the knees are bent, we're getting deep into the belly of the muscle, where the majority of the muscle is. Come back to center and then lift up halfway and fold. And we're just moving dynamically through these positions. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Maybe start to straighten the legs out a little bit. Fold it down. Inhale. Exhale. Two more. Come all the way to stand. Step your feet together. We're going side to side. So with feet all the way together, heels will separate a little bit, and then just lean one side. Feel that side waist as low as you want to go to the other side. Some of us might have more movement or less movement. It's just about finding where your stretch needs to be. Option to add an arm up and over. Maybe even looking past that armpit, out past it. Exhale. Come back to center on the inhale. I want you to push your hips slightly forward. Feel that stretch through the quads. So if this is enough, you're staying there. And then hands go to the low back, squeezing the elbows together. Press the chest forward and feel that lift up. So we're lifting out of the spine. So there's no compression into our joints. And then take the gaze up, maybe even a little bit back. Come through center. So that was just to move through some stretching positions. We're going to add deeper poses as we go, but nothing's too intense. We're still working on that very beginner basic level. Warrior 3 is our first position. And I get a lot of people that are scared of this pose because it's too intense for their body. So we're going to pull it back a little bit and start from the beginning. Hips are square right to the front of your mat. Back foot, I want you to point it. And then a little bend into the standing leg. That's where we're starting. Eventually we'll want to straighten that standing leg. That might not be today. Lift the back leg and then start to lower the chest as you lift the leg. So it's one action. Don't ever do this. Let the chest fall and then try to lift the leg to follow. Right? One movement. Down. And if that's as far as you want to go today, reach the arms, hold it. If by chance you can get parallel to the ground today, I want you to straighten that leg and work on the flexibility through the back of that standing leg. Hold it for one more breath. Inhale, come up to stand. Switch legs. Hips are square. Little bend into the standing leg. As you lift that back leg, chest comes down. And really, this is the important part. It's not about getting here. That doesn't matter. It's about finding the strength and balancing it with the flexibility you have in your body to get you where you need to be. 3 breaths. Inhale brings you up. Okay. So I like to do this on the ground because it allows you to work from wherever you are. We're already firing up through the legs. We're going to go into a little quad stretch and then add the front body opening up as well. So all the way onto your belly. Take the forearms out in front. So it's like we're just holding in a Sphinx pose. You can sort of get comfy here. See how elastic the tummy is. Rarely are we in this position ever. So be gentle. Be aware of anything that might really open up or be tight. Psoas, hip flexors. And then when you're ready, left forearm will be down. We'll take the right leg. You're going to bend it and try to pull the heel towards your seat. And then release it. Just pull it in. Inhale, release. Exhale, pull it in. Inhale, release. And the heel goes right outside of my glute. Right next to my hip. 2 more. And if that feels good, then you can do that one more time through. We're going to change and go to the other leg. Return to center. And then we're just going to set up for bow. We're going to maybe do a little baby bow. Bend the knees and then lower the chest all the way onto the ground, pressing the hips down. Take hold of right where your shoelaces would be. Walk the knees in. I want you to bend your elbows. One of the most important parts of this pose is to start with bent elbows. So arms are engaged. I want you to squeeze your shoulder blades together, lift the chest, and then try to push your feet towards the wall behind you. And that's all we're going to do today, just a little baby bow. Trying to get those hips open through the front, chest open, little quad stretch. And then release the legs. Take child's pose. Knees can go wide, hips to heels, stretch it out. When you're ready, come all the way up. So we're going into a wide squat standing. And it's important that, again, we ease into this work. So feet are turned out, hands go to the hips. Now you're just going to go halfway down, press to stand. Go halfway down, press to stand. Exhale, inhale. A little deeper. Inhale, one more. Stand it up. Now go down and hold it. We want to feel that fire come into the legs. It's important to work on our strength and to feel opening through the chest, lengthening of the tummy, lengthening of the low back. Sit a little bit lower. Maybe add the arms up and overhead. Super straight arms, palms turn in. Thumbs are included in that grip. Sit a little bit lower. And then press to stand. Release it down. Going into a side lunge. And this is where you will want one, maybe your block. I would start with the towel. Place it underneath your right heel. Toes point somewhat forward. That right toe can turn out a couple of degrees, and then left heel is going to swing up, point towards the ceiling. So we're going over to the side, lunge. Take your hands down, and this might be where you're like, oh, I don't know if I can get it any deeper. So then try to lift that heel up, and then maybe start to walk the hands back and sink down. Okay, and hands can go behind you if we're very, very tight. But try to then bring hands out in front and always maintain that work through the leg. Belly is in and tight. If we feel good and happy in this pose, nothing bothering us in the ankle, in the knee, in the hip, hands to the heart. Toes pointed up. Make sure you're aligning yourself so belly's driving up, super straight spine. And then we'll switch and go to the other side. This is a pose that I've never seen a runner really enjoy. Not once. And it's good for you. We're not holding it very long. These are short holds. Trying to get deep into that leg. Toe points up. Try to sink back into that heel. Even though you have the towel there, trying to drive that heel down. Eventually the towel has to go away. Hands where they are. Try to take a couple of breaths. Maybe even reaching the arms up and overhead. Engaging the belly. Walk the hands down. Come back to center. And then this last one, if you use the towel for the heels, you'll most likely need the block. So we're going to start with the block. And then if you want to add a little towel, you can do that as well. You can also roll up the edge of your mat, double it up. I'll do it all. So, heels are tight. You can roll it just in threes, or you can double it up. Okay? Make this work for you. So I have mat folded up, just my heels are up on it, and then the block is at its mid height, and then I'm going to sit on the block. Okay, and you sort of have to adjust it to your stance. Make sure you're protecting your knees. Okay, so here we are. Full expression would be no block. Okay, so some of you more flexible humans might be able to get into it. Okay, I'm able to do it. Elbows inside of the legs. Now try to press the knees away, whether you're on the block or not. Okay. It actually is more enjoyable for me to have the block there. It doesn't feel like I'm overstretching my hips. So, elbows there, hands to the heart. And try to root down through the heels. For most of us, we're going to be working on the flexibility end of this, which is holding the position. Hands go down, lift the hips, and then let's try one more round. If, by chance, you're feeling very flexible and that strength isn't really there, you're sort of just sitting into the pose, and you don't feel that lift, or there's not a lot of endurance in that lift, then you're going to try to lift up off that block. See that hover, that space, and then set it back down. Lift, hold, hover, back down. And arms can be overhead, at your hips, at your heart, and then we're done. Come into one forward fold, just to shake it out. So bend a knee, straighten a leg. Switch and go to the other side. And then flat back here. So watch if you need to. Hands go to the hips, thumbs are to the back, fingers to the front. Lift halfway up, my knees are bent. Stand all the way up, knees are still bent. And then straighten the legs. Thank you guys so much for practicing with me today. I hope you got a lot out of that, especially hips and into some of those more troublesome